Dreadful Tales. This is our Ravenloft anthology series featuring an incredible cast of players. What's different about our game is that we have 2 dungeon masters, 10 players, 4 arcs, 2 finales coming up. How is that going to work? Well, you're going to have to peer into the mists to find out. Over the next 6 months, we'll be bringing to you every Tuesday night a new adventure from some of the best minds in tabletop role-playing. I'm going to toss it over to our DM Stryk, but before doing that, I want to shout out our friends from Legendary Pants who are sending us some dice. This is Absinthe from their wine dice collection, and if you're like me, rather, if you're like my girlfriend, Allie, you love 2 things. You love wine and you love dice, and when you put them together, well, that's the best thing in your life, next to our cat, and well above me. Stryk?
There we go. Okay. Hi, everybody. If you read the captions, you already pretty much know what I was about to say, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway. I'm Stryk Redkite. I'll be the DM for this first bit here, and I am really excited to be able to tell this story with some wonderful, wonderful cast members, both in this group and in the groups to come. I think it's going to be a fantastic story, and I think you guys are going to have a really fun time watching. I'm going to go ahead and just go around in clockwise format because I think that makes the most sense. So that means, Feliza, you are up next.
Am I? I'm right below you.
Not on Zoom, you're not.
Not on Zoom, I'm not. Okay. Hi, I'm Feliza. I'll be playing Teyah. What else do you want me to say, Stryk?
I think we'll go with that, and once we get into some more introductions of your character proper. So let's move it on over to Dwight.
Y'all, I am Dwight the Big Bitter Nerd, and I am playing Concord, the peace-loving Warforged.
All right, next in line, Gary.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gary, and tonight I'm playing Dr. Cornelius. He is a researcher of the natural world, specializing in the history, nature, and religion of the material plane.
All right, and Robo.
Oh, hello, it's me, Robogoblin, and I'll be playing Patricio de la Rosa, who is just really confused right now.
And last but not least, Fluffy.
Hi, I'm Fluffy Snowfall. I will be playing Karina Ivanova. I am looking forward to see where this all goes.
All right. So we will begin our story not quite in the city of Starwallow just yet, but instead with each of our individual characters ahead of time. We'll start with roll a d6. Why not? No, I can't start with myself d6. Come on. This is why you don't use randomizers. This right here. There we go. Feliza is up on the first go round. So Feliza, tell us about Teyah, a little bit about her background and where she is as she comes up out of where she was.
I have rolled so badly today, and I haven't even rolled 1 dice yet. All right, so Teyah has been wandering around in the forest for several weeks. She is very lost. She doesn't really know precisely where she is. She's been looking for the entrance back home to the Underdark.
So as Teyah is looking about, and at one point, as they reach into a pouch for a bite to eat, a bit of rations, their fingers will find a piece of paper, folded over gently and sealed with a wax seal.
She pulls it out because she doesn't really remember leaving a piece of folded paper in her pocket, and examines the seal. What does the seal look like?
The seal is a ring of clasped hands, the sort of thing that you might see a group with everybody putting their hands in the center. And around that iconography are odd symbols that don't seem to line up to any lettering system that you're familiar with.
Well, she's just gonna take... Oh, she has no such convenient object to use. She's just gonna break that seal right open with her hands.
All right.
And see what's inside here.
The letter at first appears to be more of those symbols, but they shimmer after a moment of looking at them and revert to basic undercommon, just like Teyah probably recognizes from home. And it says, "You have been summoned before the judiciary of the Starwallow city." And when Teyah pauses and stops reading, because that's all that the letter says, she notices that she's not in the forest anymore. And it's in fact in a building that is dimly lit at best. But it is fairly easy to see a tall desk with an ominous robed figure seated, lit from behind and hooded, making them almost impossible to make out any features of. The figure speaks, and the voice rumbles less like something coming from a humanoid's chest and more like a thunder that has long been expected. The thunder of a storm far away that you'd seen the flash several seconds before and waited in anticipation for that rumble. Teyah Kalor, you are charged with recovering the Grimoire from the abandoned library. When you have completed your task for the city of Starwallow, you will be free to go.
How did I get here? And how do I get there?
The door behind you will take you to the city. You'll meet others who have been added on to your task and been given the same goals. We recommend that you work with them as best you can. This task is difficult and will be made all the more so if you do not accept the help offered by those who are on a similar path to you. As for how you got here, magic.
Oh, we don't like that. All right. I'll go meet these people.
All right. There's a doorway behind you that it seems to be, it's not a curtain. It's not anything physical, but it looks like an inky blackness through that doorway.
Oh, and that's certainly the one I have to go through, right?
It is.
Of course. All right. Well, I'm nothing if not a person who gets things done, so I'm just gonna head right through that doorway, curtain thing.
As you reach the threshold of the door, it's like the door connects to a different doorway without there being a gap between. And as you step through it, you step forth into a fairly bustling tavern. The people there seem relatively downtrodden as far as things go, but not overly so, and nobody seems to be in bad spirits. There is a table at the far end of the room, and when you are spotted entering in, one of the waitstaff looks over at you and says, "Did you get a letter, miss?"
Yeah,
Far table.
great. And she heads over and looks for an open seat.
All right. Let's jump to Patricio.
Hi. What do you want me to do?
Tell us about Patricio and where we come upon him.
Okay, so Patricio is a half elf with curly, short black hair, medium brown skin, black mustache, kind of like this. He has gold round glasses, like this one's. Wears a brown overcoat, but I'm not gonna wear that because it's 90 degrees outside. And a blue knitted sweater, kind of like this. Black pants and really tough looking boots. And right now, Patricio is at the entrance of a city. He doesn't know which city is it, but it's the one he's in right now. And he's looking for a fountain, a place where he can wash his hands and his face for a while.
All right. The city, there is a big sign sort of that leads over the passageway into the city and over that road that just says Starwallow. The road itself winds ahead and has a number of rustic but well-kept buildings on both sides. Obvious hanging signs for shops that have since closed, as it seems to be probably 5-6 o'clock at night, coming up on twilight at the moment. And as you are walking into town, your hand brushes against your coat and you feel an object that has been stuck into the pocket of the coat. And reaching in is a letter, a small piece of paper with the wax seal, just as Teyah found it.
That's interesting. And he looks around to see if anybody is around him right now.
The streets are not empty. There are definitely people sort of going to and fro, but everyone seems to be going about their business. They're moving with purpose as opposed to hanging around and looking around. They're going from point to point rather than just sort of walking. So there are not anybody really particularly close to you, and nobody seems to be paying a whole lot of attention.
Okay. I'm just going to find like a secluded place that is just for me.
Okay.
And when nobody's looking, and just triple checks that nobody's looking right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he extends one of his nails, becomes a claw. And with a swift movement, he opens the letter and starts reading it up.
Okay.
What does it say?
It says you have been summoned by the judiciary of the Starwallow City.
This is the city. He looks around to see a sign that says.
So once you look up, the small alleyway that you had sort of ducked into to get some privacy has been replaced by that same dark room with the big tall desk and the light behind it. Patricio de la Rosa, you are charged with obtaining the Grimoire from the abandoned library, at which point you will be free to go about your business as you please.
Who are you?
I am the judiciary of the Starwallow city.
That how did I get here?
Magic.
Of course, magic. Okay, I'm not sober enough for this. Where should I go?
The doorway behind you will take you to a tavern. The first drink is on us. We recommend that you work with the others that have been put to this task as well. The way is difficult enough without going it alone.
Okay. And I'll just turn around and exit that room.
And as you walk through the doorway, once you hit that threshold, the tavern just is there. Not even a sensation of movement, as if the tavern was always on the other side of that door. And as you enter, one of the waitstaff looks over. Did you come from a letter, sir?
Yeah, I did.
Table in the back.
This way?
Yeah.
And I just, or that way.
It's that
This
mostly
okay.
empty table that way.
Okay. And I just go to the table and sit down.
All right. Let's go ahead and talk with Karina next.
Okay.
So tell us about her.
She is a half elf, average build, black hair with red streaks, in thick gray robes that are adorned with autumn leaves, and there's a satchel of animal skulls dangling from a belt. She is currently sitting at a makeshift campsite off of the Svalich Road, in between the forest, between Valaki and Kresk. She's sitting in front of a smoldering campfire. A small bat in stages of decay sits atop her shoulder. One of its wings is completely skeletal, the other is dry and leathery. And she is absent-mindedly just rubbing her hand across the bat's head as she is just reading over a journal that she had just finished writing in.
So as Karina is reading through the journal, and she turns the page when she reaches the end there, a letter falls out, which is certainly odd, as you don't remember having put a letter in your journal, and having just finished writing in it, you probably would have noticed, but contrary to all logic, there it is, complete with a seal on the back.
She turns her attention to the bat. Orlok, did you see who brought this?
The bat shakes its head.
She will take a look at the seal. Not recognizing it, she'll pause for a few seconds before opening.
As you go to open it, you notice that there's a small scrap of paper sort of tucked under the corner of the seal. That is obviously a different source than the rest of the letter.
Okay. I'll take a look at that one first.
It says, "Be careful. Starwallow is an interesting place. And it is signed simply S.
She will take a deep breath, kind of look over her shoulder to the nothing, and then she'll open up the sealed letter.
The sealed letter, as with the others, is very simple. You are summoned by the judiciary of the Starwallow City. And when you go to look up from the page, the campfire and all of the accoutrement are completely gone. And instead, you're sitting in a room with a tall desk, light from behind.
Is her familiar with her?
Yes.
Okay. She will nervously look at the figure. Who are you?
I am the judiciary of the Starwallow. Karina Ivanova, you are charged with retrieving the Grimoire from the abandoned library.
What library? What are you talking about?
The Starwallow City summons those it needs to complete tasks for the greater good. You are among those that have been chosen for this particular task.
She just kind of nods. She doesn't understand what's going on, but she'll accept it for now.
The door behind you will take you to a tavern where you can meet others who have been given this same charge. We highly recommend that you work with those that have been chosen. This task is difficult enough without going it alone.
All right, Dorlock. Let's see what we're into now. She'll walk into the tavern.
As you enter into the tavern, you feel a bit of weight adding to your pack as all of the things that had been laid out at your campsite seem to have been returned to your belongings. So you're not missing anything as far as that goes. But as soon as you walk through the door, one of the waitstaff spots you and sizes you up almost immediately and asks, "Are you here on a letter, miss?"
A question. How brightly lit is the tavern?
The tavern itself is lit well enough that those without dark vision are not going to have any issues seeing, but not brightly enough that anyone is going to feel out of place as far as a too bright situation goes.
Okay. That's still brighter than she's used to, so she'll be distracted with covering her eyes more so than answering.
Yeah, you look like a letter holder. The table in the back is reserved for you. If you want to head over there, we'll take your drink order.
She will cautiously head over there and tuck Orlock into her cloak.
Okay. All right. Dwight, you are up next.
The camp is at the edge of what looks to have been a battlefield at one point. Canvas tents are pitched in the across a muddy hillside. You hear the cries of the wounded in one of the tents, quickly accompanied by the whine of servers and the scrape of metal on metal as the flap from one of the tents falls to the side and crouching at first, but as he emerges from within the tent, this enormous steel warforge emerges. Steel has been stained with a dark red pigment of some sort. The metal has been patched in various places. It's scarred from many years of battle. But as the warforge steps out of the tent, you see that it's draped with cleric's vestments, and it has a symbol of a heart-shaped mask, white heart-shaped mask on the on its pauldrons, on its shoulder pauldrons, and on a shield draped over its back. And it's clutching what looks to be potentially prayer beads of some sort. And it looks behind him at the tent where these wails of pain and suffering are coming from. And he just kind of hangs his head and then looks up and starts to walk away. And as he's walking, you get the glimpses of what looks to be a mercenary fighting force eyeing him warily as he kind of trods through the mud with mud just kind of kicking up and splashing everywhere as he walks away from this tent.
So as Concord is walking away from the tent, a messenger will come up who he's maybe at the most 16, the sort of camp follower in a lot of mercenary groups that is too young to fight and everyone knows it, but is at least fetching things, gopher, bringing water, that kind of non-combat role for someone who in a lot of ways obviously looks up to a lot of the warriors and soldiers. And he holds out a letter.
Query, is this letter for me?
He nods.
Gratitude. Thank you. You may go.
He'll run off as soon as he's delivered the letter.
I just hold it up in front of my face. Puzzlement, and I'll open the letter.
The letter, as the others, reads, "You are summoned by the judiciary of the Starwallow city." And as soon as you look up from the page, the camp and all of the sounds disappear. And you will find yourself standing in the judiciary office with the tall desk and the robed figure, hidden by both robe and by light lit from behind. Concord, you are charged with retrieving the grimoire from the abandoned library. When you have done so, you will be free to go about your business as you please.
Query, who presents this charge?
The judiciary of the Starwallow city.
Query, why was Concord chosen?
You were selected as one of the proper individuals from across the multiverse to complete this task.
Processing. Concord will accept your charge.
The door behind you leads to a tavern where you'll find others that have been given this same charge. We recommend that you work together as a group.
Before you finish, I turn and walk out the door.
All right. And into the tavern you go. The waitstaff identifies you almost on sight and just goes, "Table in the back."
Gratitude. And then I will walk to the table in the back.
All right. And that leaves us with Dr. Cornelius.
Dr. Cornelius is standing above a laboratory table. Implements of various kinds, books stacked as high as the eye can see, and he is peering through a microscope. Off to the side of his table is a large, oversized great axe, but it's not like a great axe like anyone has seen before. It is a two-bladed great axe, which seems to be bound by hardcover books on either side, which trap the blades on the left and the right of it. He is looking through the microscope, examining some natural phenomena or some such.
In and among Dr. Cornelius's papers, when he goes to take the next set of notes from what he's looking at, he'll find that there is a letter placed atop his notepad.
Dr. Cornelius will examine the letter, but not recognizing it, he has no time for such frivolity, and he will tear it up.
Once Dr. Cornelius tears up the letter, things seem to go about as they were before. Back to the microscope, back to the experiments, the observations, back to note-taking. But after maybe 5 or so minutes, the letter is sitting back on top of the notepad, right where it was before.
You are trying my patience, letter. I have no time for you. And he's going to find a candle and he's going to set it aflame. There, that will finish you. I have work to accomplish. And he's going to look through the microscope again.
The letter burns. It seems to be just normal paper. And things continue with the observation until a few minutes later, when your hand goes to the notepad to take notes, there is a letter sitting there, albeit singed on the edges and a little bit of smoke coming from it, but mostly unharmed.
Mein Gott! This letter is cursed! He's going to pull over a drink and he's going to shove the letter straight into the drink. That will drown you, cursed letter!
And again, back to observation and back to looking at things through the microscope. And then as your hand goes to the notepad, it touches paper, wet paper. Wet, singed paper.
How can you be wet and on fire at the same time? You make no sense, letter. Fine. And he will open the letter and he will read it.
And just as the others, you are summoned by the judiciary of the Starwallow city. And when Dr. Cornelius looks up from the page, his laboratory is not there. And it is instead simply a darkened room with a hooded figure sitting.
Did you design this room yourself? It has no life.
Dr. Cornelius, you are charged with obtaining the grimoire from the abandoned library. When you have done so, you will be free to go about your business as you please.
Okay, many questions. Why am I here beyond why you have stated I am here?
You were chosen from among the multiverse as the correct individual to assist in this particular task.
And what if I say no?
Then a geas will be placed upon you, and you will be nowhere to go but the environs of the Starwallow city for the rest of your days until the task is completed.
This is... Fine. I do not like you, and I do not like this room. You're trying my patience. You do not want to try my patience, for when I am vexed, you will not believe it. I am so disappointed in you, judiciary, and your fancy robes, and just bland, drab room. You brought me all the way across the multiverse for this. And he's going to turn and storm out the door.
And as soon as Dr. Cornelius hits the threshold of the door, he emerges into the tavern. And the waitstaff takes one look at you. Says, "Are you here from a letter?"
Yeah, stupid letter. I burned it. I tore it. And I dunked it in a drink. And yet still I am here.
I knew one person who sent it away on a horse, came back 10 minutes later.
This stupid letter has a life of its own. I hate it.
Well, the rest of your group has assembled at a table in the back, so hopefully you can complete your task quickly and be about whatever business you wished to be about.
Yeah, fine.
And there at the back of the table sit Concord and Teyah and Patricio and Karina. All of you at a table. And the waitstaff will come and bring a large pitcher of ale and several mugs, as well as a pitcher of water.
Did you all get cursed letters too?
Hello? Yes. I'm sorry, what's going on? Do you know anything about what's happening right now? I lost my accent, by the way.
Dr. Cornelius is going to look at Karina and he's going to say, "You look wizened. Where are we and why are we here? Beyond what this judge said. I do not trust him. He tried my patience. He made me angry."
I do not know more than you already do. This judiciary summoned us. I don't really know what this place is for, or what the point of this grimoire is. But we are here, and everything is so very strange.
What's a grimoire?
The grimoire, it is like a large book, and she'll pull out a very heavy-looking leather book from around her waist. It is black leather with red inlay. Something like this.
Interesting. May I see it? Or is that too forward?
You may be careful.
Okay. I just grab the book a little bit and just a little quick examination on it and just look at the materials and on it. What is it? Leather book?
It's leather. Leather
It's
bound.
leather. Okay. Okay. This is quite extraordinary. Thank you. And just give it back.
You are welcome. And she'll take the book and she'll kind of hold it in close.
After a moment of conversation, a waiter comes by bringing what looked like some handwritten menus of food that they prepare and setting a couple on the table. I assume that all of you are new to town.
I have never been to this place before in my life, sir.
Neither have I.
Larry, where is this town?
I would suggest it is the environs of Starwallow. That is what they said, the Starwallow city. The judge, man.
Yes, this is Starwallow City. As far as where the city is, no one is really certain. The only individuals that are here are those who have been brought. No one was really born here. This, as best as anyone knows, appears to be on something of its own smaller plane. The mists make it difficult to explore too much beyond the forest outside the city.
Wait, say that again, the mists?
Yes, the forest, after maybe a dozen miles or so, is just cloaked in mists that are too thick to see through or really travel through in any practical sense.
She seems to get a little less anxious at the mention of that. That is good to know. Guess I'm not as far from home as I thought.
Does anyone else find it weird that not only did we receive a cursed letter, but we are sitting here with a sentient golem? No? Is it
What?
just me?
Ascension Golem.
Yeah, this creature here is made of metal and wood. I've never seen such a creature before.
And
I'm
you are
sorry,
It's
but go ahead. Go ahead, Feliza.
it's very rude to call other people creatures.
No.
It's just impolite.
and I was going to say you are made of bone and meat. How is that any different?
It's to clarify, all of us are creatures. It is humanoids, aberration. There is only creatures. We are not. There is no malice intended. It is just a construct that you have put in your minds as a negative on it. But second, I'm just pointing out I have never seen such a creature as this before.
Observation. This one speaks much without saying.
What's your name, friend? I turn to this sentient creature.
I prefer to be called Concord. Gratitude.
My name is Patricio de la Rosa. It's very nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you all.
I am Karina Ivanova. It is currently nice to meet you.
I'll take that.
I'm Teyah Kalor, and it is very nice to see anyone, really. I haven't seen people in a very long time.
Honestly, I kind of prefer it that way.
It's very nice.
My name is Dr. Cornelius. I am a researcher of the natural world, specializing in the history, nature, and religion of the material plane. But it seems I am far from home now, in this weird pocket dimension, surrounded by mist.
It seems like everybody is far from home.
Do not worry about the mist, friends. It is merely the land's will. Each area has its own will, and it manifests within the mists.
Okay.
That is cryptic. You understand that, yes?
What is cryptic? It is merely what is happening.
The mists have their own will.
May I have some water, please?
Of course. Do any of you require anything else as far as drink or food goes?
What manner of wine do you have?
I'm reasonably certain it's made of grapes.
Okay, grape mash. That is fine. I will have a bottle.
So, does anybody know? Did the judge say whether or not we would be getting some direction as to where this library is? Or are we to be expected to wander around until we come upon the random haunted book in the random haunted abandoned library?
We could always ask.
Always get some directions. I'm sure someone can give us some directions.
We could ask around.
Are there any rats or other animals in the tavern right now?
There are a few rats that are sort of scurrying into corners, but they're trying to keep as out of sight as they can.
All right. I'm going to pull out the leather book and just start ritually casting Speak with Animals.
Okay.
So you see her pull the book, and various arcane language begins to manifest on the blank pages, looking like it was written in blood. And once the spell is active, she will try to get the attention of one of the rats.
Okay, give me a animal handler.
Okay. 18 plus 1, 19.
Okay. As the rats are sort of scurrying behind barrels and other such, they sort of hear your urging, and one of them pauses and stops to look in your direction with obvious confusion in its features because you're speaking rat, and that's unusual for the big 2-foots to do. So, sure, it kind of slowly but surely makes its way towards the table, obviously not certain, and like casting glances around to make sure that nobody is going to notice and scream and run after it with a broom.
I'll kind of get down to the ground and like kind of usher it over and like protect it with my robe so that others don't see it. And she'll just kind of look down. Friend, I am looking for something. A place where all of the other two legs keep things that they call books, a lot of paper. Do you or any of your litter know where this may be?
It tilts its head to the side and seems to consider for probably a good 2 or 3 moments longer than you've probably ever seen a rat think about anything. I think this time it's out through the woods. I don't think it's in with the rest of the city anymore. They moved it.
Thank you, friend. That is very helpful. And I will reach into my supplies and I'll pull out some jerky and give it to the rat.
The rat will take it and scurry back off into hiding. It sort of fends off a couple of other rats that are coming up on it. And you can hear it saying, no, this one's mine. I answered the 2-foot. You want yours? Go get your own 2-foot.
She'll turn to the others. They said that it is in the woods. It is no longer connected to the city this time. It sounds like this library moves.
The woods that are full of mists that move things and have willpower.
Yes.
Those woods.
Yes.
The rat told you that.
Yes.
Fascinating. And I take out a little tiny notebook and a quill and just write magical speech ? And that's all. Fascinating.
Many animals have things to say if you learn to listen, right?
Most animals just attack me.
They will also do that.
Well,
Shall
I
we go?
think we should go, yeah. Patricio, I think you're right. We should go. Should we confirm this barkeep, whether or not the rat The rat knows where the library is?
I would trust the word of the rat more than I would trust the word of the bartender.
I would trust both about equal.
Yeah, I too would trust both about equal as very, very small amount. Equally small. He's going to look over at Concord and he's going to say, a friend, perhaps you could send a kind word to the barkeep and ask if he knows where the abandoned library is. Or if he knows anything about our quest that might help us.
I will just turn and raise my hand to try and get the attention of the barkeep.
The barkeep notices and gestures for a moment and waves over one of the waitstaff to take his place, and will walk over to the table. He's a young dwarven man with a decent-sized beard, reddish gold hair, and really very meticulously clean clothes. And he'll come over to the table.
Larry,
Can I?
the talkative doctor would like to know if the rat is correct.
I seem to be missing some slight but important context.
Clarification. The rat, and I look at Karina, provided
Yes.
location of library. Question.
The library. It is in the woods this time, yes?
I mean, the library's always been in the woods. It was out there when the city was bigger before. I can't really remember exactly, but yeah, the library's always been out in the woods, but the woods are dangerous. There are creatures out there, and nobody bothers to go into the library anymore. It's dangerous. Is that where you all have to go?
Apparently.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Every so often we get a group from the letters in that are sent on a, well, not everyone makes it back from their journey to go about their business as they choose. So I hope that you all have better luck than some of the other groups that have come through.
And there is no reward, no benefit for undertaking this service to the city of Starwallow. Just if we do not do it, we are stuck here forever. And if we do it, we quite possibly could die.
Almost every group that successfully completes whatever task they're given are granted a reward by the judiciary upon its completion, in addition to the freedom to go as they please. It's just not normally something that's discussed ahead of time.
Do you think that might be an incentive? Beyond being trapped here forever in a prison, surrounded by willpower-like mists.
I'm not sure the judiciary understands most people the way that we do. I suspect it's probably a force from somewhere else from beyond here.
Dr. Cornelius is going to look at Patricio. He's been eyeing Patricio from across the table. He's been very quiet, and he's going to lean in and he's going to say, Patricio,
Yes.
what do you make of this whole situation? You seem to have a keen eye for things, for details, you seem a thoughtful creature. Yeah?
I appreciate your words. I honestly have been through a lot, and it's very complicated and weird, but this doesn't seem weird to me at all. Except that speaking with the rats, that I've never seen that before.
Not even a small bit. This doesn't seem weird at all. Not even like this much.
No,
You and I have lived very different lives, my friend.
we all walk through different paths, as we should walk to that path now. And I gesture to the door. There's a door, right?
Yeah, the door that you walked through leads outside.
Oh, okay. And I just reach into my pocket and grab a little grape and then start munching on it. And, shall we go?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it is time.
Do we know which direction we're supposed to go? Could we ask for a map, perhaps?
The barkeep will speak up. There is the Hall of Records in the center of town. You might be able to find some maps or documentation of where it used to be. I don't know that anybody around remembers exactly where it is, though.
Well, that's helpful. That's really helpful. Thank you very much. We'll go look at the records first, rather than wandering around aimlessly in the mists and perhaps not return. And she kind of looks at everyone else. Is that acceptable, Dr. Cornelius?
Yeah, I mean, what choice do we have? We must do this thing so we can leave. Not that any of you are annoying or anything. Just, it's better not here. That is all.
I appreciate that, Dr. Cornelius.
And Dr. Cornelius will stand and he'll tuck his thing and he will start walking for the door.
The tavern door is wide open and leads out onto a mostly cobblestone road with several buildings that are along it. The bartender will call after you as you are headed out. If you hang a right, it's the tall building on the left-hand side of the road, probably half a mile down.
So that way, and I head that way. And it's in the wrong direction, by the way. Yes, Dr. Cornelius.
That way. Not that
The other way.
Yeah, the other right, not that right.
The other right.
Yeah, the 180 degrees away from where you're going. Yeah, the other right.
Okay, you just said a bunch of words I don't understand. Let's go that way then.
Yeah, this not the way you go, that way. Yeah. Okay.
And we go.
The town itself seems to be putting itself together for the night. The sun has set, but is not so far down that the sky is a shade of purple going through, and stars have just started to peek out of the eastern side. Townsfolk walk past, all of them with a very deliberate purpose to their step, making sure that they're moving to something. On the left, as you walk down the road, a building that looks to be about 3 stories tall, a little taller than most of the rest of the buildings in town, sort of rises up in the darkness. There's a hanging shingle in front of it that just says records. And there are two small candles, probably about 2 inches tall at this point, that are set outside of the door, one on either side, burning low and obviously almost done.
I stand back and after you.
After-
And gesture to Teyah after you.
Thank you. And is the door closed?
The door's closed, but not locked.
Okay. She's going to very carefully push it open and kind of stick her head inside and take a look around to see if anyone's there.
The foyer of the building seems to be set up almost like a small town museum of history sort of thing. There are a number of display cases with things that are tough to read as it's not very well lit inside. But there is a reception desk just in front of the door, and a small gnome sort of peers his head up and over the desk and looks. Are the candles out outside yet?
No, I think they have an hour or so left.
Oh, well, then I guess we're still open.
And she steps inside and waves in everybody. Come in after her.
Go ahead.
After
Welcome
you.
to the town record hall. How can we help you?
We're looking for information about the library. A map or directions, if you have them available.
He looks kind of surprised by the request and confused by it. The library. You don't mean the museum, right?
No, the library is the abandoned library. The dilapidated, no longer in use library. The lost library.
Oh, that library. The one that's probably full of monsters by now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one sounds like it.
Of course it is.
Okay, so I don't think they decided to make a big map when they moved everything around the last time. So I think your best bet is probably... when was the last time the library was in town?
We were told it is in the woods now.
Well, I mean, if it's not in town, it's in the woods. Those are basically your options. The woods go straight up to the mists, and then there's the mists, and there's no through the mists. So it's mists, then forest, and then town, and then on the other side it's then forest and then mists again. It's like a mist sandwich with forest pickles.
A general direction. A general direction. I can probably figure it out with a general direction if you don't have them.
Well, let me see. And he starts pulling open drawers in his desk and pulls out a number of scrolls and starts setting them on the desk, unfurling them and looking at them. The keen-eyed among you, and I'll let you decide if that constitutes you if you're looking closely enough or not, will notice that they all seem to be maps labeled Starwallow, but no two of them seem to be alike. Some of them show a large, looks like almost a metropolis. Some of them are maybe a small village sized. He flips through and he's like, I think we're this one this time. And he pulls out one of the maps that shows a large town labeled Starwallow. It says, so if this map is right, and I think it is, the library is probably northeast of town.
Probably.
Probably. I mean, that's where I'd put it if it were me, but I don't know exactly where it is. The last time there was a group that had to do anything in the library, it was in town and it was just down the road. So, but northeast, there's an old hunting trail that should take you to where I think one of the old iterations of the town was. I think that's where it was the last time the library was a thing.
So, are you saying that the town changes its orientation, its periodically, it's the town shifts?
About every time a new group of letter carriers comes through, everybody realizes that town has shifted. Well, not everybody realizes, but some of us do. They move stuff around, and sometimes they use different buildings, and sometimes people get shifted around. But I'm pretty sure this is the map for the one we're in today.
That seems out of the ordinary, no?
Well, I guess it depends on what you get used to.
Dr. Cornelius is going to lean into Karina, and he's going to say, I reluctantly must admit, I think I am with you. I trust the rats more than this gnome.
We should go find it then. I don't think we'll be getting much in here.
Yeah, I am inclined to agree with you.
Thank you for your
go ahead.
For your help, sir. Which way is northeast? Which way is the hunting trail?
Hang on. I have a thing for this. Hang on. He goes through into the bottom drawer and starts rooting around and pulls out a small box and opens it up and peers inside and then closes it. Okay, I thought I had. It's not working right now.
Yeah, that makes some sense. All right, my friends, if you are ready to leave, we have gotten all the information perhaps that we are going to get from this fine creature. Perhaps we should depart. Yeah, follow the rat advice.
The sun sets in the west, so it should be right of that.
The what?
I think the purple is west.
All right.
So go right of the purple.
And Teyah kind of like gives a little bound. It's like and says, "Thank you. I am very sorry that I'm sorry about my companion. I'm sorry."
It's okay. You get your memory wiped enough times, and it all just seems to be pretty much par for the course.
The thing that's not working, can we have it?
Why would you want it if it doesn't work?
Why would you want it if it doesn't work?
He's got a point.
She does at that. I'll hand over the box.
And I will take it. And what's inside?
It is a compass, but
Okay.
it does not seem to be settling in any given direction. But at the same time, it's not like spinning either. It seems to be, if the compass were sentient, it would be not 100% sure where it was going. And it's just kind of walking a little bit this way, and then it's going to stop and turn and go that way for a little bit, see if that's right. And none of that quite looks correct. So maybe it was behind me this time. And so it just kind of wobbles.
Okay. Well, I will put it in with my things. 17 plus 2 for a 19.
Okay. So as your familiar is sort of swooping about and taking a look, you can see what looks like a path roughly ahead of you and branching off a bit to the east. It looks like it's probably that hunting trail that was mentioned. And a good probably 10 miles further into the woods themselves, there appear to be some dilapidated buildings that are mostly overgrown. If it weren't for your familiar's keen eyes, you might have missed them for the growth of them.
Okay.
But it looks like it might have been, if not a town, then part of a town at one point, maybe.
Okay. Everyone, I'm probably not going to be able to hear you, but she will point in the direction that Orlok saw. It looks like the hunting trail is that way. And
Thank you. I just say it out loud, and I know you can't hear me, but
yeah, and you all see this half decomposed bat fly back and land on her shoulder. And I'll give him scritches.
Was that bat always like that? Did anyone notice the parts falling off of it as it landed?
This is how Orlok has always been.
Like always, always?
Since I summoned him, yes.
That is something.
Orlok is his name.
His name is Orlok, yes.
Fascinating. Did you know that bats can drop their heartbeat to just 4 in a minute?
That is very fascinating. Orlok does not have a heartbeat, so I would not know.
But he's still alive.
No.
Okay. And I just take out my notepad and take out another note. Dead but not alive? But question mark? Just that's it.
My friend Patricio, I feel like this will not be the strangest thing we even see today.
No.
This is a strange land. And he's going to glance at Concord and then glance at Teyah. And he's going to say, "Don't you agree, mein friends?"
Doctor, I suspect that you've lived a much less interesting life than perhaps the rest of us have. If this kind of thing surprises you.
I have seen...
Agreement. It is a land. I see nothing stranger than the others.
The real test will be what history this place has. That is where the real interesting things are.
Well, let us go then. Strange places.
Yeah, apparently this is normal for people. This is... How did I get here? I was minding my own business in my laboratory. And now there's an undead bat, and a golem, and a mousy drow.
Not a golem.
You can't even mutter to myself. Everyone interrupts me. This is a horrible sense of existence. This is hell for me. I'm so lost.
Teyah, give me a nature check real quick.
Don't like that either. Oh no. That's a 4.
Can everyone do a nature check?
Sure, everybody can do it.
All right.
Yeah,
Hey.
I have the nature.
That's 9 plus 4 for 13.
Okay.
I got a 19 plus 3 for 22.
Dang.
It was right there on the 20, but it's now an 8. So it's 7.
Okay.
I want to math, but I'll just did it. I rolled a 19.
Okay. So 10 and above, you have been out of the tavern and among the town for your best guess is probably an hour, hour and a half between visiting the Hall of Records and everything else. But the sky has not changed at all. For a sky that was right on the edge of twilight deepening into night, it doesn't seem like it's getting any darker out, nor is it getting any lighter out.
Observation. My internal chronometer suggests time has passed, but light levels suggest it has not. Has anyone else made this observation?
Teyah, having lived almost her entire life in the Underdark, is kind of puzzled by why this would matter. Like, why would it change? That's just what it looks like up there, usually, right? Should it change?
It is my experience when outside, the passage of time is accompanied by changes in light levels.
Really? That is interesting.
Yeah, accepting for the moment you are not talking about the philosophical idea that time is a construct created by sentient creatures. I too find it strange that the light has not changed. But time seems to have passed. Unlike these others who seem to find no strangeness in this. We are in a strange land, my friend.
I wouldn't know the difference. But is this the place? Where are we going?
We were supposed to be going down the hunting trail, and that will lead where the old village was, I guess.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna just mutter to myself. Okay. Let's go.
As we're walking, are there any like seeds or leaf buds or anything along the way?
The trees seem to be in the state you'd expect them to see in fall. So there aren't a whole lot of seeds at this point. Most of them seem to have fallen off already. But if you want to give me a survival check, we can see if you can find some.
Sure. Yeah, nope. That would be a 2 plus 3 for 5. I am going to just druid craft some greenery on one of these branches and hand it to Patricio.
What is this?
This is a gift. You seemed troubled, so I thought I'd give you a bit of nature. It always helps me relax.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just put it safely in my pocket. One of my pockets. Would you like a grape?
Sure.
I take a grape and just open my hand and hope you grab it.
I will take it. And I will nibble half of it off, and the other half I'll give to Orlok, and it'll kind of fall out his ribcage.
Fascinating. I'm sorry, I'm just completely fascinated. You start by talking to rats, and now you have
Yes.
a bat
Yes.
that it's not dead, but also not alive.
That is correct. Yes.
This is. I've been through a lot, but I've never seen that. I'm just fascinated by it all.
Well, I'm sure there is very much that we could discuss later. I am somewhat of an archaeologist, and I am fascinated by other cultures.
An archaeologist. I even more fascinated.
All right.
But let's
so
go
as,
onwards.
As the group heads down the hunting trail, what is the marching order?
I guess it would be me at first.
Yeah, if you
I don't know
want.
if anybody has. Okay.
I
Yeah,
don't mind.
I'll probably be towards the back.
Yeah, I think if we want to be quiet, we don't want me in front. But if we want something tanky up there, then I would. So
How are we all about seeing in the lighting? We all can see in the lighting?
No. Let's see. Yeah, I can't. Oh wait, I do have dark vision.
I was
Up to
going to say,
60
I
feet.
was pretty sure you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a halfling anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
so it is Patricio in front, and then Dr. Cornelius, then Karina, then Concord, then Teyah. Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
Yep.
Sounds good. Concord, are you using a light or anything, or are you?
yeah, I will have a little shoulder mounted torch that I put up there while we're walking along. I'm also, as we start to head down the trail, I'm gonna walk up to who are the first two again?
Me at first.
And Dr.
Okay.
Cornelius in second.
Okay. I'm going to walk up to the two of you, and I will just say something along the lines of reassurance. I have faith that you will lead us where we need to go. And I'm going to use my emboldening bond, where two creatures within 30 feet of me for the next 10 minutes, once per turn, can roll a d4 and add it to any attack roll or ability check or saving throw while we're off along the way here.
Thank you.
I feel emboldened. Thank you, my friend.
Well, since we
appreciate
are
this.
emboldened, why doesn't everybody give me a perception check as you're walking through the forest?
Oh, yeah, I
no.
upgraded these. So good.
Yeah.
That would be a 19 plus 1 for a dirty 20.
All right.
A 14.
That's a 13, but I got a D4, right?
Oh,
Yep, you can add the d4 if you want.
Yeah.
And that's okay, that's a 16.
I'm rolling my meat die, and it is giving me a 1. Oh, no. So 15. No, 14, because I have a -1 perception. I do not pay attention to such frivolities as sneaking creatures.
Roll an 8 because I spent all of my perception granting guidance to everyone around me. So,
Yeah, that's how it be sometimes.
mm-hmm.
All right. So for those who have a 15 or better, as you are walking through the forest and the path sort of winds between, it's well worn and very obvious as far as a hunting path goes. It's almost a dirt road as far as its size and shape is concerned. But there's a lot of rustling in the woods just off of the path. There's enough noise that it sounds like either several smaller creatures or one larger creature seems to be sort of walking along with your group, but without being very subtle about it.
And I just turn to everybody and just say, "You're being followed."
I hear it as well.
Everything seems normal to me.
You want me to go take a look?
If you want to.
I don't mind.
I'll stand behind you.
Before you leave, I go and place my hand on your shoulder. May the wisdom of the ancients guide you, and I cast guidance.
Yay.
As she walks away, I'm going to take out my shield and I will stand between the noise and the group.
I would like to stealth over.
Okay.
Use stealth to sneak over kind of in the direction of the sound. I'm not
Sounds good to me. Give me a stealth roll.
That's going to be an 11 plus guidance is a D4, right?
Yeah.
I can use it on this?
Sure.
So 14.
Okay. So as you are sneaking out into the woods, are you looking for something? Are you trying to find a specific spot? What is Teyah up to?
Teyah's trying to locate the source of the sound and will be kind of moving in the whatever direction has been indicated to her that the sound is coming from.
Okay.
So, I guess Patricio and Karina, whichever direction you tell me to go, that's the direction I'm going.
It's right there. And I just point to the direction I heard it from.
Okay. All right. Give me a perception check, Teyah.
That's a 14.
Okay. So as you are creeping into the brush and moving amongst the bushes and plants of the forest, you can tell that you are creeping up on a large creature. It's quadrupedal and seems to be moving through the brush alongside your party, but it doesn't seem to have noticed you yet.
What does it look like? How large are we talking? Like 10 feet long?
Yeah, large size.
Okay. Don't like that. About how far away is it from my group?
It's probably a good 30 feet off of the trail itself. And you are probably another 15. You are about 15 feet. So we'll put you halfway there.
Okay. And is it obscured by, like, is it just hard to see? Like, what does it look like?
It has dark fur. And it's tough to see in the low light against the bushes. It seems to be a very naturally stealthy thing. It isn't itself trying to hide so much as it just naturally blends in. It does seem to have maybe wings on it. Something is coming off of its back, but it's tough to tell exactly what.
Okay. I want to kind of like go straight back to where my group is.
Okay, make me one more perception check.
Dirty 20.
All right. As you are moving back towards the trail, you notice that there are two other of these creatures that are moving considerably more stealthily than the one that you initially spotted, that seem to be moving along with you as you walk back towards the trail itself.
Of the same kind of creature, the same
Yes.
size?
Same size and everything.
Oh boy. Okay. Don't like that. I will go back anyway because there's a very nice cleric with a large shield waiting for me there. So I think I'm gonna go there.
Okay.
Friends, I have some good news and some not so good news. Which do you want first?
Yeah, always the
Bad
bad
news.
news first.
There are two things about 10 feet long that are going to pop out probably any minute here. Right behind me. Maybe.
All right.
Brace yourself. I don't know if they're threatening, though. They're sneaky things.
I start rolling up my sleeves and just say out loud, "All right, what do you want?"
The brush seems to pick up movement. Teyah, give me a... Actually, everybody can go ahead and give me a survival check.
Oh,
Um,
it's a 5.
that would be a 9 plus 3 for 12.
14.
4.
21.
Concord, you're the only one that will notice this. Whether it's because you have the only light or your stature gives you a better view or something, you notice that the rustling of the brushes as it is coming towards the trail and the sound of the rustling brushes do not sync up. It looks like they're coming from two different places.
Clever girl.
I turn to Patricio. I place my hand on his shoulder. I have a bad feeling about this, and I'm going to cast Warding Bond.
Ooh.
So you get a +1 to AC, and saving throws, and resistance to all damage. And but anytime you take damage, I will take the same damage, and that lasts for 1 hour.
Oh. Okay. Oh, geez. Cool. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to do anything in this moment?
Yeah, I would like to ready to vex myself if these animals come out of the forest and are hostile.
Okay.
I will wait and see what happens.
I try to make myself bigger, and just stand whatever this sound's coming from. and yeah, trying to safeguard the group.
Anything from you, Teyah?
Just getting out my bow. I think I
Okay.
might need it in a second here.
Can I get initiative from everybody?
Oh,
Just in case we need it.
In case.
In case.
Just in case.
11.
oh, Shiza.
22.
7.
So this is the bad part of not being a halfling. I rolled a 1.
Oh, no.
I rolled a 6.
The 4. Okay.
Oh, this is not an auspicious
This
beginning,
is
gang.
TPK before we even get to do
Yeah,
anything.
yeah. This
right?
is a fun campaign. Oh, thank you so much for joining us
Thank
tonight.
you so
on
much for
Dreadful
inviting me.
Tales.
Yeah.
All right, so just to get everybody in order, I'm just going to count down, and that way I can rank everybody in my head so that it's a little easier to keep track of. Who beat a 20? I think just Teyah.
Hmm.
Okay. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11.
Seriously?
11.
Oh my god.
Oh boy. 10, 9, 8, 7.
Yeah, Dr. Cornelius got to 7.
Okay. So Teyah, Karina, Dr. Cornelius, 6,
Liv.
Concord, and then Patricio.
Ooh.
All right. Well, this is great.
Fun game.
Yeah, this is it's going to be interesting, but we have reached our time pretty much for today. So I think we're going to have to find out what happens to our party next week.
Yeah, you have extended the campaign 1 more week. Thank you so much. We all appreciate this so much. Thank you everybody for tuning in to the first episode of Dreadful Tales. Welcome to Starwallow. We didn't intend to leave it on a cliffhanger, but gosh darn it, here we are. We hope you'll tune in next week, right here again on Talon and Claw at 8:30 Eastern Time, 5:30 Pacific Time. Why don't we go around the horn and everybody can sign off. Where can since I didn't put it on the overlay because there's not enough space, where can we find you all? Stryk, why don't you go first?
Sure. I can be found at Stryk_Redkite on Twitter and basically all of the social media things. You can also find me. We don't start up again until April the 3rd, but Utharian Legends over on Chaotic Tiefling ATL will enter season 2 off of an even worse cliffhanger. I may have a habit of those. But that will kickstart again April 3rd over on Chaotic Tiefling ATL with the wonderful Robo in my cast over there. And otherwise, you can find me here, at least for the next, 1 week at the very least. We'll see how long it lasts. If I TPK the entire group on week 2, do I get fired?
No, but as Febe said in the chat, we will escalate the Arc 2 cast quite quickly.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
And Celine is also right. I forgot that UL moved to D4 RPG and not on Chaotic Tiefling ATL anymore. We switched over to new channels. I'm glad that she's in there because I am a doofus. But that's all I've got.
Same.
Karina, what about you?
Hi, you can find me on Twitter at Fluffy Snowfall. And I am also the social media manager for Second Star to the Right, which is another actual play D&D. They're going to be having an episode on Friday. It's a Neverland themed campaign, and I think it's really cool.
Dwight.
Hey all, I am Dwight, the Big Bearded Nerd. You can find me on Twitter at Big Bearded Nerd or here on Twitch at Big Bearded Nerd 21. I am 1/3 of Mini Terrain Domain. You can find me on Monday nights with MTD Jake, D&D Jordan Lee, Gary, Carrie Schultens, and our friend Ricky Wells for Scribes and Scrolls, the Candlekeep Mysteries live play that we play every week. I'm excited to be here. I was very honored to be asked to be part of such a great group. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to see where this goes. Thanks for having me.
Feliza.
Hey, I'm Feliza. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Feliza Casano, and I also run the Twitter account for Cyberpunk Independence, the Cyberpunk Red Actual Play podcast at Cyberpunk IND, and we are coming back with season 2 at the end of April.
Robo.
Oh, it's me, Robogoblin. And you can find me at TTRP Gifts or at Robogoblin01. And this Saturday, we're going with our episode 3 of Strixhaven campaign. It's in Spanish. If anybody speaks Spanish, you can drop in. And I'm also with Stryk on Utharian Legends. That it's now moved to D4 RPG. D4 RPG, that's the channel, I think. Yep. Might be. And that's me.
So obviously we're so excited for Dreadful Tales and the incredible cast that we have and all the stuff that's coming. We have a cliffhanger that is I don't understand why you would do this to us in the first week, but it's at least we're going to get 2 episodes out of this arc, so that's great. My name is Gary. You can find me at fortnerd.com. That's at fortnerd, DOTCOM, mostly on Twitter. As Dwight mentioned, you can see me on Monday nights on Mini Terrain Domain for Scribes and Scrolls, the upcoming Cyberpunk Independence, and a whole bunch of other things. So we look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. Thank you so much for all the love on Twitter. We really appreciate all of that. We see the retweets, we see the likes, we see the love. So thank you so much for that. Tonight, we're calling it a night, but we look forward to seeing you for more Dread next Tuesday. Thank you so much. Have a great night.